director here at Treyarch, David Vonderhaar.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about the multiplayer of Black Ops 2, this little game, Black Ops 2.
You may have heard of it.
So right now, Dave's wearing his awesome live stream helmet, and we're going to see if we stay friends or enemies. Right now we're friends. The green indicates friends, but things could go bad. So right now we're spectating a match in the new podcast mode, which is really rad, seeing the way that you can pop around with the tools. You know, like 1 second we can see how the teams are faring against each other. But beyond that, let's skip that for a second. You know, I guess, Dave, for you, what's kind of the thing that you really wanted to bring to the multiplayer, you know, for Black Ops 2?
You know, the game's a sequel, of course, but it's really, after that, that's the extent of how much of a sequel it really is, right? There's a whole lot here where we wanted to make sure that just because we've done things a certain way in Black Ops doesn't mean we would do them that way in Black Ops 2. And you can really feel that out when you play, when you're going through the progressions. There's a lot of changes to the core gameplay systems, particularly things like Prestige, obviously the Create a Class and Pick 10 systems, and Score Streak. So all the really core gameplay systems we've had a pretty significant look at and make sure that we just do the absolute best thing for this game, regardless of its sequel status.
Yeah, and I will say that if you guys want to ask questions about Black Ops 2 to Dave and me, you can do that to the hashtag Black Ops 2, and you can do that to @IGN. And throughout the live stream, we're going to be giving away 5 Xbox 360 and 5 PS3 copies of the game too. So
how nice of you.
Ask awesome questions. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so right now we're seeing, I guess, a lot of this person has a lot of things unlocked.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that one thing I know that you guys really wanted to do was you tied the challenges this time around in the game to being cosmetic items.
Yeah, we're spectating IGN live stream right now, and IGN live stream has that mustache reticle for his red dot, and that's just, you know, one example of once you kind of get through the core progression. Once you get through all the typical challenges that exist for a red dot, then you get into a new wave of challenges where you get some of these kind of cosmetic challenges that you could say are just for fun. And of course, IGN Livestream had to pick one of those right off the bat. Why not, really? So
kind of a big question to me, you know, is why do the multiplayer in 2025? You know, and I guess, is it to kind of be different from what we've seen before, or was it like, you know, something that you guys felt that would make it stand out or more special, or?
So one of the great things about doing it in 2025 is you really have the widest range of tools and technologies to use as inspiration for gameplay, right? So you get to do things like the MMS scope, and you get to do things like having the Black Hat PDA, which gives you a hacking mechanic. So from a systems design point of view, it's giving you the best opportunity to find new ways to introduce gameplay into the franchise.
And I will say that a lot of the tech that you guys are using, as far as the future tech, for instance, the millimeter wave scope, the MMS that you were kind of talking about, like, how did you guys try and temper the whole future theme versus, you know, keeping it plausible?
So everything is actually based on some kind of real-world technology. So let me give you a really practical example of that. There's a score streak called the Guardian, and the Guardian is this microwave turret that you can place on the world, and it's used for crowd control. It's really great for like blocking up a lane so people can't advance. This thing's a legit piece of technology. Now, the thing is, right now, today, they use it for crowd dispersal. It's massive. It's mounted on the top of a Humvee, and it has to pull its own power supply. But it's completely feasible that this is actually real technology in 2025.
And it'll shrink down.
Yeah, absolutely. So just like any technology, it gets smaller, it gets more power efficient. So everything is based on something that's completely legit or is in the prototype phase, and you project what that might be like.
Sorry, I was just noticing our IGN livestream guy just threw out his hunter-killer drone. I feel like you guys have really emphasized drones a lot in this as well.
Yeah, big source of inspiration for us is begun the drone wars have. We see it right now, right? So in the reality of how the military is using technology today, drones play a very big part of reconnaissance and, you know, even for threat indication and threat elimination. So it makes perfect sense to us that we would use that theme and kind of bring it into the game in multiplayer and campaign in very large ways. I mean, the campaign experience itself, there's a huge storyline about that, right?
So if you guys want to send in your questions, it's to @IGN with the hashtag Black Ops 2, just like Jack and 151 did. He says, will people be able to buy Nuketown 2025 if we haven't pre-ordered the game?
Yeah, so we haven't announced anything about that. Right now, the only way to get Nuketown 2025 is to pre-order the game. There's still time, young Jack.
I was going to say, I mean, if he sees what he likes here,
yeah,
there's time. Yeah.
You'll actually see that in a little bit. You can see what we've done to that map. So that's the only way to get it today. I would never say never. Anything's possible. Those are all business decisions way outside my scope of responsibility.
Fair enough. So, you know, I think one of the things that I've noticed that you guys have tried to do with Team Deathmatch is you've tried to provide even more options than what's come before. Right now we're doing typical, you know, the Team Deathmatch, you know, the very core of the game. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We're doing Team Deathmatch, but it's multi-team.
Yeah,
and that's something that's new. You can see on the right, there are actually 4 teams of 3 going on.
Yeah, in fact, the game supports 18 players and up to 6 teams at a time. Now, we typically like it with 3 teams with 3 players each for 9 total max. That gives you that small kind of squad-style tactics that we think are really fun to play with. But here we're actually playing 4 teams of 3 each, and you can actually, in this view, you know, you can see which teams are in play and how everyone's sort of doing. And IGN's team right now is in first place, and IGN is on a 1 kill streak right now. That's what that number says to the right of his name.
And yeah, I think that the multi-team battles, to me, one of the things that I like about them is I feel like with specific modes, they add a different sort of tension that maybe wasn't there before. Like, I think Kill Confirmed, especially with small, like, 3-team packs roving the map.
Super intense, right?
It is, yeah.
So you can play multi-team and Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirmed, and our brand new game mode that we call Hardpoint. All 3 of those are playable in multi-team. There's actually a playlist for multi-team, and all those modes are in it. And of course, you can play them in any kind of combination you want in a custom game or system link game. And we really thought Kill Confirmed in a multi-team configuration really put a pretty interesting dynamic on Kill Confirmed, and it's a really fun way to play the game.
So the Codcast mode that we're seeing too, that's something that is a totally new feature for the franchise, and it's interesting how we can kind of dynamically shift between seeing various players' perspectives. We can also shift, and we can immediately see what score streaks they're working on. We can see how they're doing. We can see even you know, the kind of overall stats of the match and see where their team falls. Like, what was the thinking behind, you know, putting something like this ability to, you know, do this sort of codcasting thing in the game?
So when you have an esports initiative like we do with Black Ops 2 multiplayer, there's really 3 things that are very important. You actually have to have a competitive environment where people are being appropriately skill-based match made and ranked, and that's the league play feature. We actually also allow you to live stream the game. We actually announced that this morning with our Elite and YouTube partners. You can actually live stream your game, but the one that's actually just as important as all of those is actually being able to codcast the game. And that's what we're looking at here is one of the codcaster views with 18 seconds on the clock. This is how we can make the game fun to watch. Now, a really good codcaster would be announcing the activity here, watching how people position, using that view to make the spectator experience, us as viewers of this stream, really interesting for everybody watching it.
So earlier, you remember, if you want to send your questions, it's to @IGN with the hashtag Black Ops 2, just like Random X Blackman did. And he says, how is multiplayer progression different than that of the predecessor? I know you mentioned that, but...
Yeah, we actually did a lot of work in the multiplayer progression system. So it starts really with, back to basics here. There's 55 levels and 10 levels of prestige. That's the beginning of that. But when you prestige, it's actually quite different. We normally would reset everything. You'd start at level 1. But when you prestige in Black Ops 2, you're actually continuing your level progression. So what we do is say, if you had a gun and you had ranked it up to its 3rd attachment, when you get back to that gun, it's still at its 3rd attachment. And because the cosmetics are tied to challenges, we don't reset all the challenges. We actually just give you more challenges as you prestige. So those 2 things are the basics of what's so different about that level progression. Now, you actually unlock content by tokens. So you'll actually unlock the ability to spend a token on it as you go. That way you're not overwhelmed by 100 pieces of content at level 4. We'll give you a lot, we'll give you more over time, and you can optionally choose to unlock the content you want, because with 55 levels and over 100 things to choose to unlock, you have to make some tough choices.
Right, yeah, I think that one thing I like about the way you guys have handled Prestige is it makes it appealing to people. I mean, there are some people who want to reset their progress, and that's still an option.
Yeah, yeah, you can actually. There's actually one of the 3 things that you get to choose to do if you prestige is reset your stats entirely. So that's a complete reset, a complete redo. And that's if somebody, you know, they finally kind of find their sea legs with the game and they want to pretend like they're level 1 again. You can do that too, of course.
So now the map that we're seeing hijacked here, this one, you know, in some ways, the format of it almost reminds me, and the size of it reminds me of Nuketown in some ways, in the sense that it's kind of a smaller map, very focused, like it's always focusing like people down a channel almost. I mean, it's a wide channel, but I'm saying that like you only have the ship to work with.
Yeah, well,
you know?
I mean that's you know, it's a super yacht, so there's only so much space you have.
No, but I don't mean
not even the largest yacht. No, I understand, Anthony. There's 3 lanes, which is a very standard way of approaching this kind of thing. Down the center, down the left and right port or starboard sides of the boat, and we're looking at right now kind of the middle of the map, which is where all the intense action hangs up. This is a hard scoper if there ever was one. Get good, son.
I actually, it's cool to see some of the weapons that they're using too. We saw it a second ago. If you were paying attention, this right here, that weapon right there, man, that is the bane of my existence. In this
when he got shocked.
Yeah.
So he got hit by a shock charge. It's about a second and a half, give or take, of how intense things are going to get for you. I actually use 2 of them, and I'll put them down as traps to kind of block up lanes. It gives me just enough time if I'm playing well to spin on somebody and take them out.
Yeah, I feel like they're a great accessory if you're trying to like hold a point, and you want to have, you know, they're going to have to come through that doorway, and you want that moment to stun them and then take them out. Especially what people may not realize when you see them is you can throw them and plant them, and they're kind of set it and forget it.
Yeah, they'll stay there until they go off or until you die.
So, oh man, sorry, I get distracted by watching. Also, that bouncing Betty mine, or the mine equivalent there, that is also the new thing that I.
Yeah, that bouncing Betty's pretty vicious. You know what I think a lot of people do, and I feel it's a really interesting tactic, is the bouncing Betty is considered a lethal, so it's in a different category than the shock charges, which are technically non-lethal, and they're considered tactical. So what I've seen people do is they'll actually put a Betty down, and then they'll put a shock charge near it. So you'll come up close on it, get shocked so you can't get out of the way of the Betty, and they're actually combining content in kind of some interesting ways to give you a hard time, you know.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you guys brought back Kill Confirmed in this too, because to me, I always like it because it's not even necessarily about collecting the dog tags as much as it is like the teams that can smartly use them to bait.
Yeah,
people.
There is a nice baiting tactic, especially in multi-team.
Yeah. This map too, I will say that if people at home watching, I feel like having played it with a bunch of people, everyone sticks to the deck, and there's like a largely underutilized below deck part that people don't even realize they can use to cross like the whole map, almost unseen.
It's the equivalent of a tunnel basically inside on a map on a boat, right? So it's a great way to actually flank behind somebody because they're very rarely guarded scenes. I don't think that'll last too long when people really get their hands on this map, though.
No. So one thing I think that's obviously extremely different from previous Call of Duty games that people might not be realizing is that on the right side you see that this person has like a UAV, a hunter-killer drone, and like a can't think what it's called, the missile that they can call down tactically.
That's the Hellstorm. He
has
in the top slot there.
Yeah. But the thing is that unlike previous games where it was all about scoring kills. In this case, it's no longer about that. You guys have changed it to be score streaks.
Yeah, watch these points come up. So you see plus 50 for that kill right there, plus 25 for a teammate activity. So here it's that number in the middle right there. That's always been how much XP you've been earning. But in Black Ops 2 multiplayer, that's actually how much score you're getting. That's going to your score streak meter in the right. So you can see that meter on the right fill up as he picks up these tags and as he gets these kills. And that way you don't have to strictly be a Slayer to participate in that system. Okay, that's not a good idea, by the way, trying to scope up on
I will say that this guy that we're watching, he has been killing it with some of these sniper shots. We're not giving enough credit, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, all right. We'll show him how it's done.
But yeah, I like that because on objective modes, it means that it really actually encourages people not to just go for kills. Like, because some of the best ways to earn your score streaks will be like whether or not you manage to capture a hard point or kill people that are coming to take the hard point. Like you'll rack it up way faster that way.
And you can actually use the support-based score streaks, and they'll actually give you score as well. I mean, just a tiny bit of score compared to plus 100 or plus 50. So that's how we can have score streaks kind of contribute towards earning extra score streaks, but not in a way that sort of makes that seem unfairly balanced, right? Because we're using score, those values can be anything we need them to be at any point in time. They can be 25, they can be 200. And we actually do that, and you'll see that as we're playing today, as you watch those numbers. I think it's going to take a while for people to get used to the idea that this is score and not XP, but I think people will get it pretty quickly, and I think they'll understand pretty fast why that's so important to the tuning of the game, really.
Yeah, I mean, so for you, like, you know, like I guess design-wise, why did you want to tune it to be about score instead of kills?
There's a couple of reasons, but the primary reason is that score gives you the most granularity. When it's simply the equivalent of a kill, or the half of a kill, or 2 kills, you can't really dial that screw left or right in any way. You can't tighten down those hatchets, and you have to make tough decisions about this. You know, when you see those scores, that score value being added right there, I can really give you whatever is the appropriate points necessary for the activity that you're getting. Like, this game mode is about confirming kills. That's why a kill confirmed is worth 100, but a kill is only worth 50 in this game mode.
So if you guys want to ask us questions, again, that's at IGN, for if you're just joining us with hashtag Black Ops 2. Like Straticus did, and he says, are kill streaks stackable, like in the first Black Ops? He says he loved spamming RC cars. That's something he loved doing, apparently.
So you can only ever have 1 score streak at a time, so they're only stackable in that you can rotate around through the loop again, but if you have one, you can't have a second. So that's how we deal with that. So we want you don't have to die to continue your progression.
Okay.
You can keep progressing as long as you activate that score streak, so when you loop around to it, it's an empty slot, for lack of a better word, and then you can actually go ahead and call that up and use it.
I think a second ago someone actually had a Defender up. Defenders, by far, of all the score streaks in this, are actually the one that I, like, you know, when people get something like an attack chopper or whatever, okay, that can really be a pain, but man, on objective-based modes, the Defender, I feel like a lot of people are going to underestimate that thing when it comes out.
Yeah, you know, well, you see it all the time now from people who are not familiar with that, and everything in the system has a hard counter as well. So there's a way to deal with somebody who's putting down a lot of defense, of course. EMPs, by the way, EMP grenades, keep a close eye out for guys with those, because they will undo all of your hard work in a hurry.
How is that? Can you give an example?
Yeah, so if you had a Guardian up right now and you're trying to lock down a path, one guy with an EMP grenade, which really has very limited impact on a player, does massive amounts of harm to all of your electronics. So EMP grenades are a really interesting way. I actually have a class that's basically a defensive class that I'll pull up as I need it, and it has EMP grenades, and I can take down somebody's Guardian in a heartbeat with it.
So, you know, I think one of the things that a lot of people who haven't been kind of following the game's campaign or anything might not realize that create a class has been changed very dramatically. You know, we keep talking about creating these different classes and that sort of thing. You know, how you have your defensive class versus your offensive class. And previous Call of Duty games, I would say there wasn't the ability to do that as well. But I think if we can check out the create a class thing
yeah,
for
just
a second.
one quick one before we start. We'll give you a sense of this.
How the Pick 10 system works.
Yeah, so we're in create a class right now, and I'm looking at you know, just my first default slot here that I haven't named yet, so-called Custom 1. And this is the Pick 10 system at work right here. You can see that bar across the top. It currently says 8 of 10. Now it starts with this. You don't have to take something from a category that you don't want to take.
Right.
So you can just press X and you'll actually get that point back. Now I'm back to 7 of 10. So what I can do with that is allocate in very specific ways that are unique to my play style. So I'll give you an example of that. We're actually going to roll up and take Primary Gunfighter. And that's a wild card. That's one of these types of content in the system that actually lets me break or extend the rules of the system.
Yeah,
so
I think these are the really interesting part of the Pick 10 system, because this, for me especially, Primary Gunfighter is the one I always take.
I love Primary Gunfighter. So this is, the MTAR right here is my sort of go-to assault rifle. It's kind of the most versatile of the assault rifles. And when I activate the Gunfighter, then I can actually take 3 attachments. So I'll stack up with Reflex and Quick Draw for sure. And then depending on where I'm playing and where I'm going, I might add something like Extended Clip. But we're always keeping you moving forward, right?
Right.
So if you have 10 items already allocated, then you can just say drop one out real fast. That way you never have to kind of go into a menu, run into a dead end, back up, try again. Just always kind of pushing you forward there, always giving you an option to remove something to add the thing that you're just trying to add. So there's me quickly using the Pick 10 system with the wild card to do something I've never been able to do before, which is take 3 attachments on a weapon.
Yeah, or you can totally do other things like take, you know, multiple perks, like 5 perks instead of, you know, and get rid of...
Yeah, I'll actually activate perk 1, perk 2, and perk 3 greed, and what those do is let me take 2 perks from the same category. Now what that's going to leave me with is just room for one type of thing. So let me go ahead and go and activate a bunch of perks here. And then you can see I can carry one gun, but then I'm fully stacked up on perks at this point.
And so in theory, if you can, you can go out there and tear it up, you could steal someone else's gun and have a gun with awesome attachments
I absolutely do that when I'm feeling particularly cocky. I'll actually remove my primary weapon, and then what I'll try to do is shock somebody so I can get up behind them, knife them,
take their gun,
and then take their gun, right? So you can do some pretty wacky things. I'm really looking forward to what people do with this. I'm expecting entire YouTube series of weirdly created classes and how far people can get with them.
So yeah, I guess we can probably pop into the next map now.
Our friends in the back will get this game going for us.
I think it's weird. It's not weird. It's interesting how kooky the creative class things get. Like that one right there, the fact that there's no guns whatsoever. Like that is something you would have never have seen before. Like who would have ever thought about going to a match without a gun?
I can name one guy actually who was a big source of inspiration for this thing. Who really runs around with just a knife all the time. That's his thing, So I think it's kind of the people have done weird things. They'll actually break their controller so they can't accidentally shoot their gun and things. And it was just it's a very, very clever way of playing with this. This is Hardpoint. This is the new game mode, and this is Carrier, which is a map I don't think anybody's really even seen.
Nope. This is you're seeing it here for the first time.
Yeah, I love this map. Let me show you the overhead view of this map real quick. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. We're actually live streaming on the other system, not this one. That's my bad. Sorry.
It's okay. So we're seeing Carrier. It is. I feel like it's a smaller map, but for things like Hardpoint 2, it gets totally like crazy.
Yeah, this is complete chaos. Now, I am shocked really every time you talk to fans. It's almost like you can't make the game fast enough for them.
Sure.
It's I'm getting too old to be playing in such chaos. I like my games a little more strategic and at a pace I can deal with. But the fans love this kind of thing, and this is a very small map. It takes place on the deck of a Carrier, but only part of the deck, and well some flanking pass around. I think this map's going to be proved to be really popular, just because the action's so intense.
So remember, if you want to send your questions at IGN with the hashtag BlackOps2, if you're just joining us, you can ask David Bondar here, Game Design Director, questions about the game. Just like at Dragon Dagger 7 did. He says, where do you get the ideas for multiplayer maps, and how does the creation process begin, keeping all the player skills in mind?
Yeah, so everywhere is the answer. We're actually looking for inspiration all the time. It could be from any place. Now, in this particular case, the level designer Dave, he's actually a huge military guy, big buff. He goes and actually visits, say a World War II decommissioned museum that's actually a Carrier, and it was just an environment that really inspired him. And then obviously you get into 2025 and what those might be like, and having a Carrier that doesn't have to launch planes the traditional way, but via drones. And so in this particular case, it really came from his personal interest and love and fascination with this subject, and that's just one example. But we go through a lot of trouble to find environments that are fun to play. We want to take you places that you might not get to stand on or be at normally.
Right.
But they have to be great multiplayer maps, and I will tell you that reality is that most places in the world are not fun multiplayer maps, so we take a little creative liberty, of course.
Of course.
It's a Hellstorm coming down right there.
At Dragon Dagger 7, I really liked your question. So you're going to win an Xbox 360 copy of the game, which means we still have 4 Xbox 360 copies and 5 PS3 copies to give away throughout our live stream. One of the things I think that people will notice is that a lot of the weapons look kind of familiar. Like, how did you guys kind of handle, like, the riffing that you do off of the weapons?
Yeah, this is Murad and the weapons team, and I mean, they are absolute studs. So there's a tremendous amount of thought that goes into which weapons will make the cut. There's a lot of prototyping that goes on to figure out, where to go. Like, where do you, the crossbow was like a fan favorite, right? So how do you take the crossbow and put it in 2025? Would we even use crossbows in 2025? I have no idea, right? So, it's just this kind of this fun thing that we do where it's a pretty elaborative and creative discovery process. We go through a lot of weapons to find the ones that will actually make it. And it's really 3 people that kind of pull this all together. There's the weapon artist, lead weapon artist himself, the lead weapon animator, and the lead combat designer. Those 3 guys and their teams are working to put this together for the fans.
Yeah, I noticed that I feel like if you had a favorite weapon from the previous games, there is a sort of a weapon that will be there for you. Like you will find your comfort zone in this still. Like I was always, that I like the MTAR because it feels kind of similar to the TAR, and but similar but not exactly the same. And I feel like or the AK-47. Now there's the AK-74U. They are different but the same, and that's kind of comforting for someone that's played a long time,
Well, I mean, accessibility is actually a really important design goal all the time, right? It needs to be something that you can kind of, have a decent experience with right off the bat, something that are familiar with. But there's actually a lot of differences here too. So one of the core system level differences in the weapon system right now is we have a tremendous amount of control over the fire rate system that we didn't have before. That's where you get attachments like the select fire switch. You can actually change the fire rate. In fact, there's a gun called the AN-94 which actually shoots the first 2 shots at a different fire rate than it shoots all the other shots. So we're doing a lot of really interesting things.
Oh man.
There's the death machine. That's a score streak here.
Yeah,
this guy's going to probably do some chaos for sure.
Yeah, although let's see, let's go to see our friends at IGN livestream.
Let's see how
he's doing.
Let's see how.
Yeah, how do you handle?
Yeah,
so
there's the
you see a
AN-94
person
actually.
with the death machine rolling around. You can hear it in the background. That chain gun. How do you handle someone with the death machine?
Yeah, so I stay out of the way and I try to get him to lay down out his ammo. So because this is a score streak, it doesn't magically disappear if you kill that guy. He can actually burn through all of his ammo before he's done with that reward. So you have to take shots on that guy from the side or from the back. You don't want to find yourself in a head-on situation that is not very pleasant, and then just get out of the way.
So at Divinitize on Twitter, he says, "Can you talk about the different modes that'll be available?" And he says, "Will wager matches be returning?"
Yeah, so we have in Black Ops 2 multiplayer, we have what we call party games. And now if you're familiar with Black Ops, you actually know those in the previous game as wager matches. But because we don't have COD points as our principal method of unlocking,
right,
we don't have the wager mechanic. But the game modes themselves, One in the Chamber, Sharpshooter, Sticks and Stones, all of those fan favorites are back and they're in party games. And the big difference between Black Ops and Black Ops 2 is that the party games actually give you experience points. So you're earning medals and you can actually rank up. It's something that we learned from the fans that was a very important thing, is that people liked the wager matches, but they felt like they were kind of missing out if they were playing them in their regular progression.
If you're not leveling up, yeah.
Yeah, so, in hindsight, of course. So they're actually part of the core progression. You will still earn experience. You can still level up, even though you're playing game modes that don't actually use credit class or have score streaks in the first place.
I really like Sticks and Stones in particular because there's nothing more satisfying than getting a throwing axe kill. That's like my current favorite.
I'm a One in the Chamber player. I just absolutely love the purity of a single bullet, don't miss,
Well, it's funny even if you do miss, though, because then you're trying to close the gap on someone who has a bullet and you have a knife and they're hesitating shooting you.
I have fooled so many people into thinking I did not have a bullet, and I just do the whole, the magic dodge knife game, and then they walk up and I pop it in their head and it's over for them.
Yeah, the ballistic knife is still in the game, though, and I think a lot of people... Well, it's funny how many people, when I was talking to people at IGN about this and stuff, they asked me, is the ballistic knife still there? Is the ballistic knife? I didn't realize that people really love that thing so much.
The special weapons are just, something that I think we were all surprised by how popular the ballistic knife was. And there's entire communities of people dedicated to knifing and ballistic knifing. And, so we updated the art and animation set that the ballistic knife uses and give it a little 2025 vibe.
So
that's a complete blowout right there.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't I see if?
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah. We're gonna actually try to do what we can to show you the Pick 10 that we're looking at a screen that's looking at a screen that's casting. What? So that we started. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
It's live on the internet.
So. Let's see. Flaming Toaster asked from Twitter. That's a good name, by the way. He says, "Are there any interactive maps like Cargo in the first Black Ops?"
Yeah, absolutely. So we were looking at Hijacked earlier, and that has a bullet train that actually goes straight down the middle of the map and will just mow you over.
Yeah, that's a really brutal thing, especially on like a CTF mode.
Yeah.
When you're like trying to run the flag back along the tracks because it's like
it's the primary path,
the beeline.
right? Yeah, exactly.
So
now you get fair warning there that it's coming, but you also have there's interactivity. There's some robotics building drones in the map called Drone, and some others. So you know, one of the things that we started doing map interactivity in a kind of interesting way on Black Ops. It's continued here. We never force it. If we find an opportunity for it in the map and it makes sense, we put it in. And for the competitive side of things, randomness is not always the best thing to do. So map interactivity is now an option inside the menu, and that'll actually allow you, if you're playing competitively, to disable that randomness from the map so that you don't have people dying to a bullet train. But in public games, it's all there, of course.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting talking about custom games too, how much you guys can enable, disable, tweak, and change. You know, I guess for you, you know, you go out with these designs, you make these maps the way that you really want to make them. Like how do you decide what sort of features people should be able to tweak and break, or is it fun to you to think that people are going to totally, you know, make it something that you never intended?
Well, I hope so, actually. You know, so it's always, you know, when you're in this job, there is a lot of people who have a lot of strong opinions about how the game should be played.
Of course.
And that's going to happen with anything that's very popular. And I stopped fighting that a long time ago, right? I stopped worrying about it. So in our custom games feature, we're actually playing on System Link right now, and the System Link custom games and the actual custom games and the LAN or local games, all of that's the same. So all the settings that you can tweak and tune are available to you. It works the exact same way. And one of my favorite edits that we did for Black Ops 2 multiplayer is you can actually change the pick 10 system. You can say you can say, we don't think it should be pick 10, we think it should be pick 3. Or we think it should be pick 17. So you can actually rewrite the rules of what classes people can even create in the first place. You can ban any content from your match. So say you don't think shock charges belong in your custom game, you can say that's restricted. And then there's all sorts of modifications to the scoring rules. So in something like free-for-all, you could say headshots are going to be worth a lot more to your score or your points than, say, a regular kill. So there's a lot of options for players to kind of invest in their custom game and their custom classes for those games.
I think actually right now we're kind of seeing a good example of how score streaks really can build up for someone. Like this guy's getting a ton of UAV assists.
Yes,
right
so plus 10 every time someone gets a kill while his UAV is active. And the hope there, of course, is you're helping your team win, so you should be rewarded for that. And also, the guys on the other team ought to be thinking about taking down that UAV as fast as possible so that this guy doesn't get on a good tear.
I'd also like to point out this guy's amazing with his shotgun, by the way. He is really tearing it up. He's like 4 for 4. Like I've not seen him miss once yet. This is the type of person that I hate playing against. I am notoriously terrible with the shotgun, but he's waiting.
Yeah, let me give you the kind of big picture overview of this map that we're watching called Overflow. I think this is going to be a super competitive
we
map.
can see this, but they can't.
Oh,
That's
sorry. Yeah, I keep forgetting.
We're watching in a codcast mode, but everyone else is seeing from IGN live streams perspective, who is doing really, really well.
Yeah, he's, let's see, how is he doing? He's, we'll look at the scoreboard. So he's
okay,
6 and 4 with the 1.5 KD.
He's not doing amazingly, but
this map's a small to medium-sized map, so a shotgun's a pretty big challenge. There's still some long lanes on this map like this one here, where if someone came around that corner, he's going to get dropped with an SMG or assault rifle user for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
switch to the Scorpion Evo, which is a really good call. It's a very high rate of fire weapon right here.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is the type of gun that I use when I know it's going to get really, really tight.
Yeah.
Because I don't even aim. A lot of times I hip fire with that one, you know.
Yeah. Well, take the laser sight to increase that aim. There's all sorts of guns now. Scar H, customized Scar H. So that's the EOTech Zombie Stomper reticle right there that IGN Livestream has. This is pretty funny. It turns out that the folks at EOTech are as big a fans of Call of Duty as we are of them. So they let us use that reticle inside the game.
Really? That's like an official...
Yeah, no, straight up. They actually have a reticle called Zombie Stopper, excuse me. And you can actually buy a EOTech scope for your gun that looks just like that. And they came to the studio and we met with them and they let us use that in the game. they were glad to do it, and we were glad to put it in. It was pretty cool. That's one of the special ones that you get after you've unlocked the base.
So if you guys want to hit us up on Twitter again, it's at IGN with the hashtag Black Ops 2. Just like Zavalti on Twitter's did. He said, he's asking you, Dave, can you talk about why you decided to bring back the Blackbird dogs and chopper gunner?
Yeah, I mean the orbital VSAT, which was the Blackbird in Black Ops, but now the orbital VSAT. It's just a really popular score streak. It's very much in the high end of the band. It really helps your team win, and it cannot be countered except by counter like an EMP. So you can't shoot it down, right? So it's a VSAT. Oh, IGN live stream is bursting his Hellstorm right there. Let's see how well he does with it. Okay, so his mistake was that he burst it way too soon. I would have brought that down a lot faster before hitting that burst.
So the Hellstorm starts off at 1, breaks into like...
It's an option. You can actually just straight fly it up someone's backside, or if you can get it positioned over a range of guys, you can burst it and then take out more guys with it. So, it's a player interactivity on score streaks is a really big part of what we're trying to do. So the dogs, fan favorite. Orbital VSAT, formerly the Blackbird, fan favorite. Just fan favorite score streaks. And who said they don't use dogs in 2025, really?
I mean, they're man's best friend. They'll always be here. Although I will say that you have other options of little things that you can call in to fight for you too. Like I know that you guys have the drones in this game aren't just in the air; they're on the ground as well.
Yeah, the AGR is a particularly mean score streak. Now, I really like the AGR because it can be either player controlled or AI controlled. So, it was one of these changes that we made to the system where when you take the dropper marker, right, and you throw it out into the world, helicopter comes in, you've seen that mechanic before, it drops the crate, but you don't have to go interact with the crate. The crate will actually just explode, the AGR powers on, it comes to life, and at that point, it'll go out and just hunt. Just go out and do work for you and wreck nonstop. Or you can actually press and hold X and take it over. Now you can drive it around yourself, you can shoot its guns, you can fire its rockets. And it's just player choice. Why have two when you can have one and then give you the choice, right? It just made sense to us.
The AGR is interesting too because, I think a lot of people in the old games when you had hard kill streaks that you wanted to deal with, you were like, well, this is why I have a rocket class. This is why the AGR, I feel like you don't take rockets, you take EMP grenades for that thing.
Absolutely. I think EMP grenades are the little savior that no one knows about yet, and they're going to make a big difference in this game because they're the best way to deal with electronics of any type.
So yeah, the AGR, hopefully we'll get to see one of those at one point. I know that those are, I will say that even in the hours of multiplayer that I played, I was only ever able to quite achieve those, very rarely. They're not super common for me anyways.
Yeah, the score streaks go up to 1900 score. That is nothing to shake a leg at. These high-end rewards are high-end for a reason. They're very lethal. They require specialized classes to counter. They're not easy to obtain by any means. They're relatively rare, although, of course, when the game comes out and everyone's posting YouTube videos, I'm sure it'll seem like they're a dime a dozen. But you won't see them too often unless you're really up against some strong players.
So, Svalti, for asking your question on Twitter, you get a PS3 copy of the game.
Nicely done.
So we still have 4 of both platforms to give away. Hunter Killer, by the way, this one. So I often see people, as soon as they get it, they look up, they throw it, and it goes out and it hunts. That's what it does. It's in the name. But I think what he's doing is exactly how I like to use it. I like to use it like a javelin almost, and throw it directly at the person that I want to kill.
Yeah, this is a crazy way to use the Hunter Killer drone, to be honest with you. But I actually also like to put it up and go ahead and let it do its thing. And when you're running around in a Call of Duty game, any Call of Duty game, and especially Black Ops 2 multiplayer, and you don't have your gun up, you're going to get shot.
Sure.
So it's a pretty dangerous tactic. But, it's pretty satisfying if you can throw that and watch it go right at somebody. It'll target anybody in your line of sight.
And for replays, which I know that you guys have done with, you had the theater system in previous games, but in this one, I know that one of the things that people might not know about the theater system is that you've changed the way that the camera can be tied to things. So now, you can tie the camera when you're doing your replays and hooking it up to like something as specific as like the tip of an RPG, and you can kind of follow the RPG as it goes.
Yeah, any kind of missile in the game, you can actually tie it to. So it's called attached to object. You actually can fly around in free cam, bring it up to something, press the right stick, and then you'll actually have the camera will be mounted on it. So if it was an AGR, then you could spin the camera around it as it moves. So really gives you the opportunity to create some pretty sweet machinima-style pieces, right?
Right, and I'm just picturing that with like a 100 killer. You could attach it to 100 killers. You threw it right towards someone's face.
I expecting some fantastic montage work to come.
While we're loading into this next thing, one of the things that I think to me that's the most interesting about something like theater mode that I think kind of speaks to what you guys have tried to do is there are a lot of things about Call of Duty that have always interested me, but maybe were a little bit more, I guess, complex than I wanted to put the time into, but I was still interested in them, right? I like to watch Call of Duty videos like anyone else, and I like the theater mode exists, but for me, I always wanted to, I guess the time to sit there and create a film was something that I wasn't necessarily going to do.
Yeah, and you and a lot of other people.
Right. And
shame on you.
I know, but it's because, when I had Call of Duty time, it was like I wanted to play.
Yeah, of course.
And I enjoy watching really cool made films. But
yeah, we got a solution for you in this game.
Right, yeah. I was wondering if you could speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, so what we did in Black Ops 2 multiplayer in the theater is we actually have a feature that allows you to automatically create a highlight reel. So all you have to do is go into the theater, load up the film you want, press the button, and then that's it. And then it will actually go ahead and generate a movie for you from your best activity in that game. And there's some advanced options there if you kind of want to fine-tune the parameters. But it'll actually fill out the segments for you, make those clips. At that point, you can save it and share it with your friends. You could actually go back and edit it some more if you want to. So hopefully it removes that kind of barrier to entry that some people felt with the theater. And the social side of it's also equally important, and that there's a feature in the game called COD TV, and that's where you can see all of this stuff that people have been making. I wanted to really double down on the social side of the theater because people are creating really fantastic content with the feature, including automatically created highlight reels. And now we need to make sure that those are social. You can actually upvote them, and they'll make them up. Yeah.
One of the things I think that's really cool about the create highlight reel is that you can create the highlight reel and then you can tweak it.
Yeah.
Too. Like, it's not like you have to just use what was made. If you can go in there, have it form the foundation for it, and then...
Yeah, it does a really good job. I actually like to set it to make about 15 clips, and then I'll actually dump out the clips I don't want, maybe add my own with it. It's just a great way to get started. Just hit that button, let it do its work while you go get yourself a sandwich, and then when you come back, it's ready to go for you. You can start editing from there, including something that we call merge clips. You can actually take all the clips that it made and merge them down to one clip. Therefore, you can actually, at that point, have all those extra slots for additional clips in your footage. Oh, boy. It's dirty.
And actually, there was another good example of score streaks coming into play, like 250 points for getting that flag, the flag capture, the flag carrier.
Yeah, kills still matter, right? So it's not like we don't give you score for kills. We just give you a lot more score when the kill's really important. If you're a flag carrier or you're killing the flag carrier, those are important moments in time, right? You're keeping, in this game mode, keeping the guy from scoring with the flag is a big deal. And making it back to your base with the enemy flag is a big deal. So those things will generate more score for you than, say, a traditional or typical kill.
I feel like, to me, when I've played it, what I liked about it is that more so than the other games, it feels much more like you're rewarding people that do help with the objectives. And they might not even know that they might not even consciously be thinking, I need help with objectives, but they're pushed that way because of the way that they're rewarded for the scores.
Yeah, so he's picking up an extra 25 points because he's sort of near his flag, protecting his flag. He's getting what they call the killed attacker score event. So because he is doing work on guys, he's not going to be able to take that guy.
Well, he's guessing where he's at, which, I get that.
You like that ballistic CPU on the top of that gun? I think that thing's really cool looking.
This guy is...
oh, nice.
Very good with the sniper rifle compared to me. I don't even bother equipping. Right there you can see, that's kind of that wave effect you see, that's kind of the indicator that there's a defender.
Yeah, that's the Guardian at work right there.
Guardian,
yeah,
sorry. I always call it defender.
Yeah, it's because of the metal that it generates. That's okay. So you can get a good look at that right there on the back side of it. So that's a pretty common tactic to put a Guardian up on a flag. So if anybody walks into that, they're going to get impacted by that radiation. They're going to have a hard time moving. And in fact, if you stay in that range too long, you'll actually get cooked.
Yeah, it will kill you.
Yeah, you'll get a special medal for it. And there's really no way to counter that particular thing other than to EMP that Guardian or shoot it, or lots of explosive damage to actually take it out. You can't just walk through it in any situation.
Or one thing I know that people noticed, and maybe you can speak on, turrets and stuff in this game and the Guardian, you can't just knife it. You can't walk up and just take it out.
I'm actually really glad you asked me about that because it's something that's come up before that I think people are going to have to get used to. You've always been able to knife turrets, but in Black Ops 2 multiplayer, knifing a turret's not going to help you at all. And that's a very conscious decision that we made. It was a very controversial conversation, to say the least, because there's a player expectation of being able to knife it. Now, the problem is when you look at the math about what the time to live of a turret is, when you could knife it, they weren't surviving in the world long enough, so they were not performing where you needed them to perform at in their power band. So the reason to take away the knifing was because they are not cheap score streaks. They need to be, they're not that easy to get. I mean, they're not impossible, but they're in the kind of mid-range, and they need to perform in the mid-range for what kind of activity they give you in score or kills.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very nice hunter-killer.
Yeah, hunter-killer to end the round.
Yeah, so if he had a flak jacket, he might have been able to survive that, but no, he's toast.
Yeah, that's something that definitely threw me off. Is like when I first started playing, I immediately started to knife tickets, turrets, and I was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" But then that's why you need to build a class that has EMP grenades.
That's exactly right. Let me flip back to our boy so we can see what he's up to. All right, LSAT with quick draw and looks like a target finder.
So if you guys want to hit us up on Twitter again, it's at IGN with the hashtag BlackOps2. Just like 7J Drabble did, and he says, what can you customize on your weapon? Are there any new options?
There's all sorts of options, and then depending on your class of gun, you know, you have to think about the customization in two ways. Again, way too far out.
Oh, nope, he got him though. He got him though.
Yeah, he just got one. He should have picked up 3 or 4.
There was only one on the scope. I felt like he made it. He at least showed that the weapons can burst, which is a cool effect.
Absolutely. So when it comes to the guns, you know, depending on the class of gun, you know, there's a dozen types of attachments, and I think a lot of people know this, but let me just pick it up real fast in case they don't and they're kind of tuning in. In Black Ops, there are no perks that modify your weapon. If you want to modify your weapon in any way, it's going to be a type of attachment. So there's actually a lot of attachments in the gun. So when you're using your pick 10, you have to make some tough choices about how you're going to increase your one. Now those are gameplay changes. Those are everything about a gun is an attachment on a gun. Cosmetically, all those things that you're familiar with are making a big return in a big way. There's a lot of camo choices. And if you prestige your gun and kind of go through that, you can actually put your clan tag on your gun. If you prestige your weapon class, you can actually put your emblem that you made on your gun. So there's also some really intense cosmetic choices as well.
So one of the things, you know, the scope he's using, the sight he's using is new. And it kind of picks out targets when they're within your field of view.
Yeah, so the trade-off, of course, is you see this big black band around the borders as you push into that scope. So you lose some visibility, but you actually get the sight on enemies fairly easy. So that's an example of taking something that might have traditionally been a perk and moving it into the attachment system and actually making a specific optic around it. I always like it, and the team is really into the idea that we can visualize gameplay and give it a fiction, right, when we can. And that's one thing that the attachments allow us to do.
Yeah, you know, I think when people play, they're going to, like for me, I'm a compulsive reloader, so the first thing I did when I played this was look for sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Where is sleight of hand? Where is sleight of hand?
Yeah, fast mag.
It's fast mag.
It's fast mag in the attachments, and then you actually get to see that attachment. You know, it's by the way, you shouldn't, they would teach you about that. Don't be an obsessive reloader. It's actually a bad tactic.
I can't help it.
See, I bet you.
It doesn't matter what game I'm playing.
You reload after every kill?
I reload after every kill, and it gets me killed.
That'll get you killed.
All the time, especially because I do it with a gun like the one we're seeing right now.
Well, this will take a long time to reload.
And that's what I'm saying, but I still do it because I'm so used to compulsively reloading. Also, that was a sweep.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, not even fair, as we say.
7J Drabble, you get an Xbox 360 copy of Black Ops 2.
Very cool.
So thank you for asking a good question, because you know I think that perks versus attachment thing is kind of one of the places where you guys have diversified quite a bit.
Yeah, we actually, you know, perks have been simplified. They're actually very, very simple things these days. You know, very small gameplay benefit. You know, back to the basics with the perk system. They are perks. A perk is a small thing that helps you. It is not a life changer.
So remember, if you guys want to send your questions, at IGN with the hashtag BlackOps2. Yeah, which game mode should we do? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm. You know, we got to try one round of search at least, just for the fans, right?
Oh yeah.
Just one. And then let's go hardcore. Let's see if IGN live stream can hold it together with the search game. Oh, no, actually, Nuketown would be fantastic, but let's not play Nuketown Search. We have to play Nuketown Dom or something insane. I think Nuketown Dom it is.
All right, so right now we're going to show you guys the.
It's a world premiere right here.
Yeah, this is Nuketown. This is the map that.
Nuketown
I have to imagine you guys hear about this from fans all the time. Nuketown, Nuketown, Nuketown.
Yeah,
they love this. They love this map. I mean, I enjoyed it as a change of pace because it's a bit of a smaller map, which objective-based modes on Nuketown are nuts because especially like domination, there's always like the one point that's like impossible to take until some team gets very, very lucky and just manages to survive the grenades that are coming in. It's
this is about you're about to see chaos. So let's see if IGN live stream what his tactics are on this is a world premiere right here, Nuketown 2025. We have shown some video, but we've never actually got to see Nuketown 2025 get played. So, Domination, Nuketown 2025 world premiere right here, following IGN live stream.
Let's see. I mean, I guess, as we watch this, like, what was important to you when you guys were coming between Black Ops 1 and 2 to retain in Nuketown? Like, to make it Nuketown.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you can thank the fans for this one. I mean, it was, you cannot run from success, I guess. This map is just so popular, and I think it was a really cool way to do a pre-order bonus. Kind of go back and revisit Nuketown one more time just for fun. I think it just really took us off guard how popular this map would be. I mean, it was just insanely popular, and why not? Here, so this will play like the Nuketown you know and love. It'll and it's a great way to kind of mix things up if you want some chaos. Very good kills from IGN livestream right here.
Yeah, I mean,
so using a SMR with.
So this is a semi-automatic rifle. This is
switching between full auto and burst fire with that select fire attachment, which I think is a really interesting tactic on this map.
Yeah, this gun I've never used that way. I always use this gun similar to the way that I would use a FAL in the old one. Really, because the damage on this. Ooh.
Better, but he's still.
He only got one.
IGN livestream needs to get a little closer before he hits that burst, I think. It's just almost dirty.
That's just getting them out.
Yeah.
Pushing them. I can see that there's been a little bit of an aesthetic change to this. Oh, like that.
Yeah, the car under the garage, right. So the art, in fact, actually has completely been revamped and reimagined. So, but we wanted to retain the basic layout of Nuketown and, keep that kind of fast, furious action, that high scoring modes. You can see that right there. That's a good call. We'll probably pick up 3 or 4
Oh my gosh!
right here.
Oh, nicely done.
That's
4.
That's a 4-piece Hellstorm missile right there. Very well done.
One thing I've noticed is if you watch his score go up right there, he's only getting 25 per kill.
Yeah, it's
points. So it's not like he's going to use something like that and then all of a sudden just get a massive score streak.
That's really, we were talking about that earlier and how important it was to use score because I have that granularity. So although he 4-pieced with the Hellstorm missile right there, it was effectively the equivalent of 1 normal kill, right? So while score streaks count towards score streaks, as you saw, because we're using score, they're not counting massively, they count appropriately based on how much score we're injecting into the system with the kills from them.
So, sorry. So, in the campaign, I know that it jumps between times and you'll see some of the old guns. But in multiplayer, it's all future tech.
Yeah, it's all 2025 in multiplayer. There's a little more creative liberty in zombies with the range of guns that you're using as well.
Oh man, nice again.
Yeah, that's a very crazy.
I think you've slowly coached him a little bit.
See, trust Vaughn. I can help you.
Yeah, I've played against you. I'll say that's true. Playing against you is.
You're overly generous, but thank you.
I don't know that I had fun playing against you because it was such a sweep.
So this is the true story about the game right now. This is about the last couple days of my life where I'll be good at my own game. Fairly soon, when the game makes it into the public, I probably will have to close up my profile, not go public, because the real fans are about to get their hands on this game here in a couple days, and it's over for me. I will stop being good.
I mean, for you, is that kind of it's got to be rewarding in its own way, right? To see people that can achieve things on maps that you didn't even know that were quite possible.
It's like it's simultaneously thrilling and depressing. You know, we joke about it all the time that our fun is about to end. Our day of being the king of our game is about over.
Man, there's a lot of people throwing up the Guardians.
Yeah, it's a great way to. Yeah, it's a good thing to do. Actually,
you do not want to come out here if you're that other
well,
team.
I'm telling you, you're one or two EMP grenades away from dealing with that. So this is the thing, right? Players, don't be selfish. Players, make a class with EMPs. You will actually be able to deal with that thing in a very clever way. That was a trophy system, by the way, that he was just walked past there. So it's something that what you see from the game is players are. Need to be able to use Pick 10 to build their classes so they have something on standby so they can deal with the changing threat of the battle and the environment. So you don't need all 5 of your classes. If you prestige, you can actually unlock up to 5 more slots. Use one of those slots, create yourself an anti-air class, create yourself an anti-Talon, AGR class. You know, use the Pick 10 to equip up in great ways. And this team got rolled because they were not prepared to deal with that threat. You should expect to run into this kind of sentry gun.
They just had a wall here of turrets and every other defensible item.
I don't know, man. They were 1 EMP away from just basically annoying the hell out of that team, and they didn't take it.
That LMG we see there. That's kind of like the SAW equivalent, right?
There's all sorts of great firepower there. It's the kind of the one you'd expect for to have. Oh, flip back to.
Let's see.
So we're playing some round-based domination right here, and I think this is kind of a change. You know, domination's always been a 10-minute game, one round.
Nice. That was awesome. That is my favorite hunter killer kills.
And for those of you at home wondering how you're going to deal with the hunter killer, flak jacket. There's a counter. There's a counter for everything in this game. The second you find yourself freaking out about something, look for its counter. Now that's going to be a pretty good burst.
Remember, if you want to send us your questions, at IGN with the hashtag BlackOps2, all right in your face. Just like Hunger X321 did, he said, how's the spawning system in the game? Is it built to make the game faster paced or more conservative? I'm not exactly sure what he means by that, but I have to imagine that spawning is something you guys agonize over, like crazy, and how to handle that.
Yeah, in fact, a designer on my team, his name's Matt, he actually has spent the majority of this project. One of his tasks has been to constantly tune and fine-tune the spawning system. So at a very macro level, spawning works like such. We're trying to find a spawn that is not so far away from the action that you feel like you have to run forever to get back into the fight, but isn't so close that you feel like you're in immediate harm's way. So whenever you spawn in the game, we actually log that. And we log what we call, it's called a bad spawn. This is a dev term, and it means that I took or received damage within 3 seconds of spawning. So what we're trying to do is eliminate occurrences where you would have a so-called bad spawn. Now, it's actually a very difficult thing to do in very small maps like this. There's only so much space in the map.
Sure.
Only 12 players, you run out of spawns really fast and good places to spawn. But we go to a lot of trouble to make sure that the spawning works in a way where you feel protected but not so far removed from the action. And right now we have a less than 2% bad spawn rate. We're measuring all the time. We're fine-tuning what we call a spawn radius. A spawn radius is basically how far away an influencer is that makes a spawn bad or not. That's a lot of dev mumbo jumbo. We're working our asses off to make spawning good.
You'd be surprised about the dev mumbo jumbo, how much the hardcore fans love to hear that because they're thinking about that stuff too.
Yeah, I wish I could show you how that all works. We'd have to do a lot of.
I guess the thing is, the short story of it is there's a lot of math that goes on that people don't.
Yeah, look, it's something that we take super seriously. We know that there's something that the fans are really passionate about. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. And we've invested pretty heavily to make sure of this scenario. Yeah, see, there's no lunge, kid. You gotta get good.
This shotgun, though, is particularly brutal at how fast, how the shotgun he was using.
Yeah, he's flipping guns all the time right here, IGN live stream. Oh, there we go with the ballistic knives. Let's see what he's got.
I think he's okay.
There
Gonna
you
stab
go.
one.
Oh, stab 2.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's no.
He went conservative on that. He made the right call. I would have stabbed those. You get killed if you shoot and you miss because you're just really determined to get a ballistic knife kill.
I really love that animation. Phil and his animation
Black
team.
Jacket totally saved that guy.
Yeah, for sure. Really cool animation, and he flips the knives up in his hands like that. Phil and the animators, the weapon animators, did a really fantastic job making these things have some personality. This is just like Nuketown is basically a big pile of bodies, really.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing is it's one of the most insane maps. It's actually surprised me when I found out that like this is the one that fans overwhelmingly demanded. I mean, granted, I feel like the art style of it has always been like made it super stand out because it's like one of the only maps with that very distinct kind of cheesy 50s aesthetic to it. But
I don't. Like I said, there's some things I don't get. You know, I enjoy some Nuketown from time to time myself. I think you know, I would say, Anthony, it's like it's almost like we can't make the game fast enough. You know?
Yeah.
It's really fun stuff.
You know, I know that question was really technical, but Hunter X321, you're getting a PS3 copy of the game because I like to hear the tech side of it. You know, I think that the people sometimes don't necessarily appreciate how much effort and care goes into you guys agonizing over how to, like, even the smallest changes, how that's going to have like a cascade effect.
You can say that about everything in the game. I mean, the spawning's just one example. There's a lot of agony involved everywhere. This is a studio really passionate discourse, so the conversation about what to do and how to go about it and whether it's the right decision, you know, if you could be on a fly on a wall, you'd be surprised how much you know, you guys think you argue over this stuff. We're arguing about it as well.
So if you guys want to hit us up at IGN, for those who are just joining us on Twitter with the hashtag BlackOps2, just like Met_it_happens, who says, how do you ensure the weapons are balanced appropriately so that one isn't overpowering all the others? Like, that's got to be something that's a massive undertaking.
No, we just make that up.
Yeah, just this one will shoot this hard, this one will shoot this hard.
Actually, so again, you know, I don't want to bore someone to tears with the back and forth on this thing, but actually what we're doing is measuring average KD and average score per minute with every gun and every combination. All of this is logged into what we call black boxing. Black boxing is basically a giant database that we can run queries on. And what that allows us to do is try to give each gun its own character or personality, role and place in the game, but at the same time not make sure that no one gun is kind of overpowering in all situations. And we're using that data, and we'll have that data actually for the live game, so we can and will make adjustments so that, you know, that everything's kind of measuring right. We're really happy with how the game's tuned right now, but we know what happens when the game gets in the hands of millions of people as opposed to, you know, whatever, the 5,000 that have had the chance to play it.
So continuing kind of on that line of questioning, for another Twitter user named Wadi101, he says he's wondering, were there any future tech guns that didn't make it into the game because there just didn't seem to really be a good way to make them fair, I guess?
No, I think most you know, there were a couple of guns that that didn't make it for sure, but it wasn't because they were future tech or not future tech. I think for us, the conversation that we had a lot was, you know, did this gun have its role, or was it too similar to another gun? You know, what is the appropriate number of weapons to have? Because we know the fans like to see a lot of guns, but there also becomes a point where it gets, you know, increasingly difficult to make, you know, that gun be special in any way or unique in any way. So that's why you see the shotgun choices that we have, and, you know, making sure that the roles of a shotgun are well covered. There's a shotgun called the KSG, which shoots a slug, so it's a shotgun that you actually need to ADS with to be effective, which is kind of the exact opposite of how shotguns usually work. So
why have that one?
So that's a very special kind of unique role, right? You've never used a shotgun that you actually ADS with that fired a single slug at really long ranges. So it gives you the chance to have a so-called long-range shotgun, which is basically almost useless from the hip, but very powerful ADS. And that's a unique and specialized role, right, for a shotgun user. So being able to create diversity in the guns, unique roles for the guns, that's why a gun didn't make it, not so much because it was or wasn't too far in the future.
Let's see. just kind of looking over some questions here. Someone was asking earlier, he's Twitter user, the Cowboy 2007. He says, can you talk about league play? How will stats from that be different from regular stats in the standard playlist?
Yes.
I think league play is kind of an exciting thing for a lot of people because it's, well, A, it's new, but B, it kind of offers a way for people to get immediately competitive.
Yeah, at a pure stats level, it's actually not any different. The big difference with league play is when you go into league play, you have a different set of creative classes that are not part of the progression system. So you can actually use any equipment, any weapon, any attachment at any point in time. And that's so you have a level playing field against everybody you're competing with. So if you want to actually try out equipment, a good way to do it is in league play or custom games. Now, the big difference with league play, of course, is you're being ranked on skill and skill alone. That's wins and losses. It's not your KD ratio. It's not your score per minute. It's none of that stuff. It's whether you win as a team, a game mode or not. That's whether you're a winner. That's the only pure way to measure objectively the skill of a player.
And of a team.
And of a team, yeah. So you'll actually, there's two types of, there's the Champion Series and the Mosh Pit. So the Mosh Pit, you can just go play at any point in time. You don't need a party.
Ooh, nice.
6-on-6. And Mosh Pit is kind of the so-called pro-style rules, 4-on-4, although you can, that's best experience as a team, although you don't have to have a team to play in it. And it's a very unique and special way of playing the game that's completely new to Black Ops 2 multiplayer.
Yeah, I think the thing that's kind of exciting about that is just having those placement matches that then throw you in a league with like skilled people, and it kind of gives you like a tangible goal that you're trying to work out of, like, can you get out of the league? And I will say that when I did my placement matches, I was in the Iron League, which I know it's not necessarily the best.
It's you know what, it was the best for you based on where the game was at that point in time.
Where I
when
probably
you
have
played,
the most
right?
fun too, right? And,
right. So don't be embarrassed or ashamed by the fact that you're an Iron. That's actually a better thing for you. Now, competition is fun at any level, right? So if the game thinks you belong in Iron, it's got you in Iron. You're playing against other people who are at your skill level, because the game, if you just constantly get your ass handed to you, hopefully we can say that on the live stream, then
we're fine.
You have this scenario where you're just constantly getting steamrolled, and in fact that cannot be fun.
Right.
On the flip side, if you're actually just constantly kicking the other guy's butt all the time, even that will stop being fun after a while, because it's just not very competitive. The game's fun when you win or almost win, and you have those close battles, right? You remember those moments.
A good matches, yeah. It's like in sports, right? No one sweeps are occasionally fun, but eventually you want to see a really intense one.
That's right. And league play gives you the best hope, because it's using skill-based matchmaking as its principal method of trying to figure out who you should play against. Now, of course, you can only play against the people that are currently online to play against at that point in time. But, there's going to be a lot of people playing, so there's some good opportunities to try to get some matches at your skill level.
I also, I think another thing, on one side we have league play where you guys have tried to, cater to a scene that wants to be competitive right off the bat. They don't have to worry about unlocking. Everything's unlocked to them. I think on the flip side of that, I think it's cool that you guys have kind of tried to do more with the combat training this time around, because obviously the franchise is several years old, and there are plenty of people that this is like their sixth time around, and they know Call of Duty extremely well, but then there's plenty of people who also, this is going to be the first Call of Duty they ever played. Their friends finally talked them into it, and they're for them, if they just hop right into regular multiplayer, they might just get steamrolled and be like, well, this is terrible.
Yeah, there's 3 ways if you're kind of a new player to enjoy the game and make sure that you have an opportunity to kind of understand multiplayer, and the one that we're talking about is actually what we call combat training. And combat training is effectively, there's a couple playlists in combat training. One of them is actually called Boot Camp. And Boot Camp, when you play Boot Camp, it's actually only level 1 to 10.
Yeah.
So you're not, right off the bat, you're only going to be with other people who are not past level 10. Now, if you're a Call of Duty guy, you know that you can get to level 10 pretty fast, right?
Right.
Especially if you're good. So it gives the new player a place where he will be in a game where it's only 3 other human players and 3 bots against 3 other human players and 3 bots. And that gives you this window into having an opportunity to be successful. And when I watch new players, guys, they may have played campaign, they maybe played a little bit of multiplayer, but they're not ready for the shark pull. That was a very nice warthog right there.
That was awesome.
Down the center
it looked
of the
great too.
Yeah. that thing will circle strafe around a couple of times, and it's actually very difficult to take out of the sky. So when you're playing in boot camp, you're actually leveling up.
Sorry. It's very easy to get distracted when something like that happens.
Yeah, no, it's
also IGN Livestream did a good job of making sure he was focusing on that. Good framing. Good framing.
When you play as a new player, play in combat training, play in boot camp, get your proverbial feet wet, right? Oof. Yeah, don't bring an combat axe to a gunfight right there. The playing field will be pretty even and simple. You have a chance to be successful. You can rank up. Actually, you're not missing out. You're actually a good way to get started. And I think it's tuned really well right now where, if you know how to use the controls, if you're, can shoot it all, you'll have some reasonable success in combat training. That's a helpful start.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that you guys allow people to continue to play against bots after level 10, but half experience. I mean, they're going to have a very long grind ahead of them if that's how they want to do it.
We want you in the regular matchmaking pool or in league play, but we also know that not everyone's going to be ready after level 10. Boot camp is just team deathmatch, right? It's about the purest way of forming the game. But the bots actually play multiple game modes, everything except search and destroy right now.
And you can do custom games where it's just you with bots, or you could do 4-player local split screen and then fill out the game with bots.
Yeah, it's actually another great way. I'm glad you brought that up. If you're really struggling, then you can go into custom games and just play by yourself. Put some bots, 5 bots on your team, 6 bots on the enemy team, and then you can really kind of get, figure out the maps and play that way. A lot of people like to do that.
I actually find that even if you're a pretty skilled player, like I sometimes like to consider myself to be, but like if you put the bots on like veteran, they can be brutal. Yeah, like they'll still forgive you a hard time. And even if you're playing in objective mode, they'll go after those objectives pretty aggressively.
Yeah, the bots were developed and designed by Austin Krause here on the multiplayer team, and they are fantastic. Lots of improvements to the bots in this, making them be able to play game modes was a big deal.
I was going to say, I mean, previously bots were kind of...
Team Deathmatch and Free-for-All only in Black Ops.
Yeah, and so now they have all these modes ahead of like, I just feel like now, not only that, but you can assign them where you can play a custom game and then make it where the only class available is something crazy. Like in my mind, I picture doing something with bots where I'm like, bots are only using throwing axes. And it's just like insane, and put them on the hardest difficulty and then see how I can fare against murder machines.
Murder machines. I like that nickname. I might have to change the description of them in the lobbies.
Man, also again, this team is just getting swept.
So there's an example of some of the TLC that goes into a map by the design team right there. I mean, all of the A10 Warthog's pathing right there as it approaches the battlefield, as it circles around, as it comes back in. All of that stuff is very deliberately and carefully placed inside every single map. And it takes a lot of effort to get it right and make it feel good, also have it be effective. And it's kind of difficult to hear here while we're watching this from these chairs, but the A10's actually talking to you. The pilot is telling you, how effective he is for you. So whoever called that A10, it's saying, 3 EKIA as it comes up and does damage for your team. So we want you to always feel connected to these score streaks, even if you're not personally controlling them.
So just to circle back for a second, because some people, I guess, didn't catch it earlier. Remember, it's at IGN with the hashtag Black Ops 2, just like David's Got Game said, or not David's Got Game, GB_Alex T says, can you guys explain the wild cards? And so I think that is something that bears repeating only because, it's such a significant change. I feel like, especially how it works with the Pick 10 system.
Sure. So we're actually going to get back into the lobby here. So I have to turn around in order to see the screen real quick. But if
yeah, sure. We'll show the screen. So right now, no one's seeing us.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're looking at here are wild cards, and if you could just hand me the controller real quick, that would be. Oh, it's a wire controller. Never mind then. All right. So what we're looking at is the wild card screen, and he's browsing through. So wild cards are a very special type of create a class content that allow you to break or extend the rules of the system. So you have to spend 1 of your 10 points allocating a wild card. But when you do, it lets you do something special. So he just applied perk 1 greed, and now he can take 2 perks from the same category. And there's all sorts of wild cards available here. You actually have perk 1, perk 2, and perk 3 greed. There's a wild card primary gunfighter that actually allows you to take 3 attachments. There's one called Danger Close that actually allows you to take a second lethal grenade. There's actually a wild card that lets you take 2 tacticals from the same category. So here you have in Create a Class natively a thing that doesn't actually give you something to equip with, but allows you to actually carry stuff that you wouldn't normally be allowed to take. That's what a wild card is. It's a rule breaker.
And I feel like it allows you to kind of focus a lot more on something that you in particular into. Like, for instance, primary gunfighter, the one that we talked about. Like, for me, I almost never switch to my secondary gun.
Yeah, so why take it?
Exactly. If I can take that and apply it to a wild card and, you know, putting a 3rd attachment on my gun.
I always use the wild cards to do specialists. It's always for me to specialize to a specific role. Like, I have a class whose sole purpose in life is to hack enemy equipment. So I am basically building a whole class specialized around this very specific idea. I think it's a really fun way to use Pick 10 and the wild cards.
Yeah, you know, Create Class has been something that, you know, since like Modern Warfare, people have had this idea of like, this is how it works. You pick 3 perks, you pick this, you pick that, and it is really almost it's going to surprise a lot of people that have been with the franchise, I think, for a long time, to have to unlearn what they have learned. You know, to use some Star Wars lingo there. You know, it's very tough for, you know, it's interesting all over again. And the fact is that I think this is the most flexible it's ever been. You know, as far as being able to make something totally bizarre. But bizarre that might have one good specific application, you know, for a very specific situation or a very specific game mode. Like this is my hard point class. Like,
yeah,
this is the one I love.
I hope so. I mean, that's how I use it. I think players who are interested in exploring the edges of the system will come to understand that, you know, you will customize down to very specific ways of doing things.
GB Alex, you get yourself an Xbox 360 copy of the game.
All right, GB Alex.
We still got 2 Xbox 360 and 3 PS3 copies to give away in our final hour. If you want to have a chance to win them, though, you got to do at IGN with the hashtag Black Ops 2. So now we're finally doing some classic search and destroy. Yeah,
classic search and destroy on the map Yemen, and you know, IGN livestream was doing really well there, but at the very end, you know, couldn't hold it together. So
this mode to me is actually the mode that. This is what I learned Call of Duty with, you know. This for a long time was Call of Duty to me, was search and destroy. But
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a search and destroy fanboy. It's you know, I love Hardpoint for sure, but search is right up there in my top 3 modes for sure. You know, it's just a really, really intense game. Now, you know, and again, it's because the pace is a little different.
I like the way he's using the.
It's brilliant, actually.
Yeah, the shot grenades here to kind of.
Yeah, so this is exactly how I would use it. You know, you can't look everywhere at the same time. So to cover a lane, right, a fairly protected lane right there, very good. And then he'll hear those shock charges go off if somebody comes, like he did. So they pop off. He knows they popped off, can turn and spin on somebody. So really, really smart way of dealing with it. Now, I actually like to PDA hack shock charges. It's really, it'll turn them and flip them for your team.
Nice.
And it's really fun. If you know, you should never get too close to your own shock charges, because someone could actually flip them over to their team, and then you'd get shocked with them.
I do find that, that ever since you introduced those shock charges, I often run around staring at the ground because I'm waiting to have to shoot them.
Yeah, take engineer so you can spot them in the world. So,
oh yeah, that's true.
There's a solution for that.
I know, but engineer then takes up the slot that I really want for something else. I know it's a trade-off no matter what.
Yeah, that's exactly, that is Pick 10 and Create a Class at work right there. Having to make tough trade-offs, but giving you sort of maximum flexibility, you know, to do what you need to do.
So at Boroboy, John on Twitter says, "Can we dolphin dive?" I don't know what dolphin diving is.
Yeah, you don't know what dolphin diving is?
No, I mean, I think it's because I like to play like a
is dolphin diving.
Okay.
IGN livestream's giving us a full on. So you know, the mechanic is actually known as dive to prone. That's its.
Okay, see that? Yes, if you'd said diving to prone, I would, but I didn't know that people referred to that as dolphin diving.
So, yeah, so this I don't even exactly know how this got started, but on Black Ops, when we introduced this mechanic, the fans started to call it dolphin diving, and the nickname kind of stuck. And if when you when you look in the cosmetics and unlocks, there's some homages to the fans calling this dolphin diving.
Okay.
Yeah, I've whatever. You win, internet. It's dolphin diving. It's, you win.
Oh man, these are the best moments.
Yeah,
when there's like one dude left in the enemy team, and you're like, should we defuse? Should we defuse?
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna go for it.
Yeah. Yep. Position well.
Nice.
Bomb defused.
Wow,
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a sweep again. I'm gonna
IGN
live stream holding it down.
Yeah, all pro. Well, that's good. Oh boy, look at that. Yep. Why you don't line up into a lane?
Yeah, although it's tough right there, right? It's a catwalk. How are they supposed to not get into the lane?
Spread out and go around.
You make it sound so simple.
Well, it's easy to armchair quarterback. That's what podcasting's all about.
Yeah, I mean, what is kind of like, speaking of podcasting, and the fact that there's live streaming built into, so what is kind of, and league play, like I know that you're a big advocate for the esports sort of scene. What is kind of like your dream for it? Kind of the series going forward in that regard.
I've been really impressed by the esports community and the esports scene. IGN livestream going down fast in that round. The thing that I've found has been that you don't really understand this movement until you see it in person.
Right.
So we went to some actual pro circuit events. We're in the audience, and we just thought to ourselves, this is something that we have to share with the world. It's just really cool, and we went at it, and it was a significant part of everything we were doing in Black Ops with league play, podcasting, and the live streaming features. All things that exist in the world right now, but not everyone knows about or is familiar with. So, what better way to honor what that is than to just create features around those initiatives and give them to everybody? And that, I think what I hope to see is a lot of really great competitive play. Hope to see a lot of streams. Hope to see a lot of codcasted matches. Hope to see a lot of series like, here's the best players in the world and how do they do it? I'm just really excited about the potential this has for everyone.
As far as league play goes, I mean, is there plans for you guys to do anything, like calling out the teams that are kind of, the very top of their game?
Absolutely. I would hate to give away the thunder of the kind of stuff that we're working on right there. Here's what I can tell you for sure, though. You know that Treyarch's really big into supporting their games after launch. It's a significant thing that we do. We're super committed. I've been spending a lot of time with the Elite guys and sort of figuring out what that landscape will look like, how we will be able to basically take the top pro teams or best league play teams and focus and show them how we highlight the best content creators, the best streamers, the best theater makers, and definitely the pro series style leagues, their best players. And we want to make you, we joke about it all the time. I'm sure you've probably heard this. I joke about it all the time. YouTube famous, or making Call of Duty famous, or even nerd famous. It's a little bit of a tease and a play with the community, but we actually think that that's sweet, and we love to see those kind of superstars rise up from the community of the game, and good for them, and we're going to do what we can to help them be successful there. Why would we put all this content creation tools in the game if we didn't like that?
So you remember, if you want to hit us up, it's at IGN Twitter with hashtag Black Ops 2. Just like Hoodat_JDD says, can you customize your player card like you could in Black Ops?
Yeah, it's actually a lot of customization. I think you're really going to like this. So the emblem editor is back. The emblem editor was introduced in Black Ops, but it's actually back in a really big way. There's 32 layers in the emblem editor that you get right off the bat that you can start working with. We give you a bunch of sort of basic shapes that you can use to create an emblem immediately. And then we actually, if you create challenges, you'll get even fancier images that you can use in the emblem editor. And one of the really cool features in the emblem editor this year is called transparency. And with transparency, what you can actually have something that shows through to your calling card in the background. So you're going to get these really amazingly cool emblems that people made, combined with a really cool background, or what we call a calling card. But beyond that, that identity is used in the game in really big ways. It's used when you highlight a player in the lobby. It's used in place of the faction logo when you're playing free-for-all game modes and party games. So that identity is a really big part of you. and everywhere you're seen in the game. And I think people are going to be really do some very clever things, well beyond what they did with
the emblem editor is really interesting because I could see that really talented people that understand how to layer things on are going to make some really interesting things.
Yeah.
Like I'll say that when I did it and some of the other people that I saw do it, we were really terrible at it. But we only spent a few minutes with it. But even in a few minutes, like you said, like I had created something with like multiple layers, the various degrees of transparency. Like it was still very unique, even if my artistic skill was woefully bad.
That's okay. I mean, there's also great default images you can use to create. And by the way, you know, it'll actually, if you never create an emblem, that's fine too. You'll actually have the rank icons as your default emblem. So, you know, this is, some people are really into this thing, and so we made it social, in fact, and it's a very big part of the COD TV channel that you'll have, and all of that stuff, I think, you know, it just kind of puts some personality and some persona around you as a player, and I think that's just fun. I mean, you know, why not?
Who.JD PS3 copy.
Nice.
Coming your way.
Very
so
good.
you can try out that emblem editor.
Yeah,
and go nuts
man.
with it.
Yeah, check it out. You know, I think you're going to really like it. There's a RGB color in there. You can put any color that you can imagine on the thing. It's a lot of work went into the emblem editor. The guys did a really great job.
Yeah, I feel like one of the things that maybe people won't realize about Black Ops unless they really spend some time digging through all the menus and stuff is that you guys have put in a lot of stuff that's just optional. Like it's always optional, but it's a ton of content.
You know, we call it the AAAAA. We want you to be able to just go play the game, right? Just hit the buttons, right? XXXX, AAAA, just go play. But there's a lot of discovery that goes around. There's a lot of, you know, tools that go into allowing the Call of Duty community to kind of beef up that environment, whether you're making theater videos and rendering to YouTube, whether you're creating your own kind of emblem identity and personality, you know, whether you're live streaming your gameplay directly to YouTube and on your Elite presence, you know, all of these things, you know, they're optional systems for you to participate in, but you know, they're for the we know for a fact this is a super passionate community, and being able to give them tools to kind of beef up that presence and participate in the universe that happens when you're not playing are really important things to us.
So, you know, kind of continuing on a point you just made, Twitter user Das Corey, he says, can you talk more about the live streaming from the consoles?
Yeah, just announced this morning, you actually can live stream in League Play. You'll see the button called live stream. You simply click on that button, and then if you will have to have a YouTube channel, and you will simply turn live streaming on. The game will, you know, contact YouTube and say, hey, I'd like to live stream my game, and it'll give you a URL. You can then share that URL socially, including some options for sharing it directly within the game. And then once you have about 10 people watching your stream, it'll actually activate. And it's in the cloud, so it's actually delayed, so that way no one can use this thing to cheat. But it also means that you could have a lot of people watching the stream. And you know, you don't need any kind of sophisticated hardware to do this. It's simply embedded in the game. No capture card, no fancy PC, none of that stuff is necessary. It just is dealt with from the game, and it works on PC, PS3, and 360. And you know, it's a great way to expose you if you've never live streamed like we're doing here with our very sophisticated live streaming equipment right now. You know, it's
most people would never be able to have this.
No, right? I mean, so you know, look, if you're a live streamer already, then you already have what you have to have successful live streams. This isn't for you. This is so that this world walked right into the train. That was amateur hour.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, mistakes were made. So what we can do with this live streaming is really give this feature to everybody else and give them a chance to kind of experience what that is like. And it's a very cool feature.
So just to go back, is live streaming something that's unique to League Play, or is
it is. It is unique to League Play. It's using some shared networking technology because, of course, the entire planet can't live stream at once. That would break everybody on the internet, which would be bad. So that we put it in League Play because of the networking side of things, and the differences in League Play allow us to kind of, you know, maintain some control of a shared network. You know, if you stream for a long time and other people want to stream, we need to be able to, you know, take down your streams and manage it really well. And because League Play's connectivity is set up a little bit differently than the public games, then we have all those knobs and fiddles that we need to kind of manage that well.
And then also, you know, I know that even if you're not live streaming, you can still do the podcasting bit and then upload those videos to YouTube as well. And
yeah, you can actually go back and do the theater, of course, and actually load up the theater clip as a podcast in the podcasting environment or situation, which I think, you know, people who are YouTubers now, they'll probably use that, I imagine, to create, you know, some nice video on demand sequences or, you know, play back their own streams. It's a fun way, you know, to, especially the map view and the picture-in-picture view, to kind of give context for why they made decisions in the game, rather than just having to explain it, you know, from a first-person point of view.
So Das Corey, thank you for helping us with that conversation. 360 copy of the game coming your way. We still got one 360, two PS3 copies away to give in our final half hour. If you want to have a chance to win those, though, you have to do send your best questions to @IGN with the hashtag BlackOps2. So another map another question from another Twitter username. I think it's Cakesar. Okay, it's hard to say. QAXR. I don't really know how to pronounce that.
I wouldn't try.
He says,
sir.
He says, does each map cater to all play styles, or do some maps benefit the rushers and flankers while others benefit campers? Or
well, campers. I mean, no. But listen, there's a little bit, there's variety in every map, right? That's a Death Machine was gorgeous. You know, there's some maps that are, you know, obviously going to be well suited for higher range engagements or longer range engagements. You know, maps like Turbine, which are very terrain based, very open, very wide lines of sight, really good for long range distance, so-called hard scopers and LMG users. So you know, it's about variety, but so you can't say that every map's great for every single play style. They all have a particular thing that they're, you know, that they usually are good at. But then even within that map, we try to make sure that, you know, running gunners aren't completely boned, or or snipers aren't completely boned, which is why you see those sniper perches all the time. So you know, it's more the answer to the question is that some maps are going to be better for certain play styles than others. That's a fact. But I don't think that no one map is just completely eliminates a play style entirely.
So going back a second, another Twitter user named SquallXGamer says, can you have more than one emblem save so you don't have to erase your favorite? Yes,
you can. Thank you for asking that question. That was actually something that the fans asked us for, and it, you know, nice predator reticle right there. You can in fact save multiple emblems. I think it's 3. Right now, and you know, and then you can apply those in different kind of contexts. Like you can use one for your league team, one for you personally, maybe one that you're working on but haven't finished yet, which you can then set aside later. So the fans actually asked us for that feature, and it's something that we got in, you know, pretty close to the end of the deadline. Oh, Ray, there's a QR drone out in effect right there.
Yeah, this drone, this one
Dragonfire.
Yeah.
Did not lag. Got shot down immediately. Wow. Oh, bad news for you.
Well. He's going to call an airstrike. Although on this map, I feel like an airstrike's pretty hard to make effective unless they're out in that open section. Because the whole section, they're pretty safe.
Yeah, he got 2 kills with his lightning strike.
Of course, the RCXD.
Yeah,
you can't avoid it.
Yes, the Batmobile.
It does look like a little tumbler. Yeah, that's true. Man. These things, bane of my existence as well. There's many things apparently that are the bane of my existence in Call of Duty.
Yeah, well, you know, we'd have to teach you about the counters so that when you. What is going on
There's
right
just
now?
Too many of them.
RCXD Battle Royale right there. Oh man, I like this M8. This is actually a really cool gun.
No, what is it that you like about the M8?
I like the fire on it.
Ooh, he's nice. He got the Death Machine guy before he could even use it.
So it's. He's got the select fire switch on there, so this M8's got this really nice centerline rail, so it's you don't have to burn a point on an optic because its iron sights are so kind of pure.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Taking the high route.
Yeah, very cool map negotiation right there for IGN live stream.
Yeah,
You brought the good players today.
Well, you guys did. These guys make it. These guys are a cut above what anything I would be doing. So. You know, that it does help that you have people these are people who've been with you for a long time with the game.
They've got some experience.
A little, just a little. So yeah, another question from Twitter users, which if you want to be one of the people who we can answer your question, it's @IGN with the hashtag BlackOps2. His name is Don't tut. Oh man, I can't even read your name. Don't tut on 2313.
Sure.
Sure. He says, how does the Black Hat PDA tool / equipment work?
Yeah, so it's a piece of tactical equipment, so you'll actually hit the left bumper on the controller and it'll actually pull out. Now, depending on what you're hacking, there's a variable length of time. You can actually hack through walls, so I actually take engineer, so I can actually figure out what's behind the walls and hack it. And then again, depending on what you're hacking, it has different impact. So something like a sentry gun, it'll actually destroy, but other things it'll actually take over for you. And in fact, you can actually hack enemy UAVs and then destroy them. So you're pointing up and actually hacking it remotely. So it's a variable range and variable impact, and actually you get score for using it. So it's a way to deal with other people's equipment or score streaks in a really clever way with what's effectively a non-lethal device. Can't kill anybody with it. We actually joked about whether you should be able to hack people or not.
And what would happen everyone is wearing crazy gadgetry and all that sort of stuff now.
Next game, as we say.
I think that is something that's interesting, the little nods that you guys give to some forms of tech that we have. Again, we kind of brought this up earlier, but like even the fact
wearable computing.
Yeah, the wearable computing thing.
Two advantages of that is, in fact, it's a really nice way to engage non-interactive rewards because it's fast. You get to do this fast. And again, like I've been saying the whole time, you almost can't make the game fast enough. So doing that quickly is nice, and that's legit, right? We're not seeing a lot of, I don't have any wearable computing on me right now, but I think I'm going to be soon. So it's just a totally believable thing that you actually will see that now. The military guys, especially the special forces guys, wear it, and it's usually paper under there. But your favorite NFL quarterback is doing that every play, right? So imagine that's just a little wearable computer.
What about the sort of like wrist-fireable grenade launchers?
Yeah, that's actually in the campaign game.
Yeah, we see those in some of the videos that have been released.
Not multiplayer.
Is there
tuning?
Tuning, yeah.
Tuning. It was very difficult to make that tune well. We actually did a lot of experimentation with that. Very hotly debated internally, but it also, kind of. The cooking mechanic, the grenade cooking mechanic, and everything has some bearing on whether or not we thought that was appropriate for multiplayer. We decided that it wasn't. We opted to kind of keep grenades something throwable, and I would say that maybe most multiplayer fans are not quite ready for that, but we'll get you there eventually.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool thing to see, but you're right, it does have a different sort of mechanic and feel than holding a grenade, waiting, especially when you're trying to flush someone out.
Yeah, that's right.
Of a particular area.
Looks like we're on to some party games here.
Yeah, they're doing some sticks and stones.
Yeah, this will be.
Which personally, this is my favorite party game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy kind of being the crazy person that tries to hit someone with the throwing axe. Like immediately when I'm this person, I don't even use the crossbow. It's immediately holding down right bumper to cock a throwing axe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So none of these guys, unfortunately, have created emblems, but
nice.
So their ranks will be seen. But this is what I meant by your identity having a bearing on the game, because inside his HUD in the lower left-hand corner, you'll actually see whatever rank he is by default or whatever emblem he created. So it's how you extend the game. So any free-for-all game, including all the party games, work that way. So so if you create a fancy emblem, then you can show it off on the scoreboard and in the HUD. Oh, no fun. Yeah.
Even on this one, I just feel like the ballistic knife is so much easier to hit people with than the crossbow. Now, granted, the crossbow has that satisfying stick where the person freaks out because they know they're about to die.
Yeah. Whenever I get hit with the crossbow, I try to run at my killer in the hopes that I can take him with me. Yeah. The party games, this is us not taking ourselves too seriously. It's
nice.
just a nice distraction from the core game. Knife. Oh man. Oh boy.
Ballistic knife.
Yeah. So variable points involved here, and actually in custom games now you can play the party games. So you could go in with just your friends and kind of modify the rules of these a little bit if you wanted to. Something that we wanted to do in Black Ops and could never work out. Very nice.
One of the cool things about the throwing axe, the reason I like it in particular, is when you kill someone with it, you run over their body, you get it back.
Yeah, we actually changed this. You used to have to press a button to pick it up, and now you can actually, Nice. You actually will just go ahead and run straight over them now, and we'll just auto pick them up. And if you listen carefully, you can hear some audio feedback, and of course you'll see them come back in your HUD in the right-hand corner there.
Oh. So at Twitter user DeadScow5 says, have the challenges changed much since the first Black Ops?
Yeah, I think they've changed a lot, actually. The principal change in the challenges was that it is the principal and only way to unlock cosmetics. So challenges, they'll give you XP, when that you're familiar with. But what you may not be familiar with is having them be the principal way that you unlock all the cosmetic content, including the calling cards, including additional emblems, including the camouflage for guns, including the reticles for attachments. Everything in the game all the cosmetics are tied to challenges.
Yeah, I think that's obviously the big one.
It was a crazy amount of work, let me tell you, to try to get that all worked out. Trying to figure out how many challenges we would have and how much cosmetic content they would have. But it's all ready for you in just a few days.
So here's a question that I think is interesting from D_Wags from Twitter. He says, does League Play still have kill streaks? And if it does, can you turn it off?
Yeah, in fact, I can turn it off, and in fact, it does currently have score streaks. The only score streak currently restricted is in the Champions League. In the Champions League, I have disabled care packages,
right?
And it's the randomness factor.
Right, and I think that makes sense. It's like people that want to play. There are other games that are like that. Like, not that I'm saying these games are at all similar, but I'm saying when I've seen people that play competitive Smash Brothers, for instance, they turn off random item drops because it can break game balance. Well, not necessarily break game balance, but it can make things unpredictable. And when people want to be competitive, they want it 100% predictable.
Yeah, they do, which is why the interactive map options are disabled and why the care package is disabled. Now, look, we know that the super hardcore competition guys, they actually like to play with no score streaks. But I'm going to actually just fall on my sword with that group of people right here and now and say it's actually, if we want esports to be popular, if we want it to be successful, then we need to grow it. And to grow it, we need to make the game as similar and comfortable to people as they're used to playing the regular game. This is something that we'll work with you on. We'll figure out what the right thing to do over the long haul, but we're launching the game. Score streaks will be enabled, except for care packages in the Champions League, and we'll work together to figure out the absolute best thing to do.
It's interesting to hear you talk about it like that too, because if people aren't paying attention, what you're obviously saying is that you'll be monitoring all this as a team and thinking about like how you can change it even post-launch.
Yeah, it's easy to change. And I could disable anything in the game from being available in League Play, including all of score streaks. I could go back to my desk and do it in about 6 minutes. It's a piece of cake. So what I'm interested in, though, is trying to get some critical mass. I would like the world to experience what many of you already know to be awesome. And to do that, I think that we're going to need to go with score streaks out the gate. We'll figure out where to go from there. Nice job, IGN live stream, with your first place victory.
So thank you very much, D-Wags, for talking about that, because actually I think that's a really cool thing that I don't think people will necessarily realize, that you can tweak things so on the fly.
Yeah.
I think people have this idea that it's out. Once it's out, this is how it's always going to be. Obviously, you guys are going to always be examining the numbers that are coming back, the balance, all that sort of thing. So D-Wags, you get one of our last 3 copies of the game. You get a PS3 copy. We still have one 360 copy, one PS3 copy going up. We only have 15 minutes left in the stream, though. So if you want to have those answered, you got to do it to @IGN on Twitter with the hashtag BlackOps2. Send your questions to David Vandahar, Game Design Director. You only have them for a few more minutes.
15 minutes?
Yeah.
But we're having so much fun.
I know. Yeah. I know. It's easy. The time flies.
Yeah, you were right about that.
Here's a question that I think a lot of people have been wondering. The Amplifier 1 from Twitter says, will theater mode record sound from microphones?
Yeah, no, they cannot, actually. It's a procedural and policy thing from the first parties about that. So it's actually a very common question, so I'm glad to have a chance to answer it. It's not possible to do it. It's not a technical thing. It is actually a policy restriction.
I can see that. I mean, it's not like you have the express permission of all these people to go and post their conversations online.
It's very complex legally, I'm sure of it, with the wiretapping this and internationally. So the best thing and easiest thing to do is to just not allow it to be recorded, and therefore you don't have those problems.
In codcasting, though, can you drop into the conversation between the teams and that sort of
You
thing?
can, but the voice isn't recorded, so that's why you can still do that. So it's called listening. It's actually a feature of codcasting where the codcaster can actually take an entire team and then hear them work together.
So he can hear it, and he could talk about the things that they're talking about.
And you could hear it if he was actually streaming his video or something. in
Sure.
real
But
time.
I'm saying as far as his video that he puts up on the Codcast, you know, like if people go and watch his Codcast eventually,
Yeah, go back.
he
in
can
time.
talk about what he's hearing, but you won't hear the dialogue.
That's right. He could only do that. The audio from voice over IP or chat is never recorded in the theater at any point in time, including casting. But let's say we were at a big LAN event.
Yeah.
And we were broadcasting the caster's view to the audience. If he listened in, we'd be able to hear it. That's how you'll see that get used.
Okay. So let's see. Another question from Darth Talonex. He says, as far as league play goes, do you plan to host tournaments or any special events?
Yeah, again, I really don't
You
want to
have
give away the
plans. You have
thunder.
plans.
We have big plans. You're going to be, man, if you only knew what I knew, what's his name? Darth what?
Darth Talonex.
Darth Talonex. If you knew what I knew, you would be very happy. But unfortunately, you know, we're just trying to make it to November 13th, get the game in your hands, and then once we get through that, we'll talk about the future and what we're doing to support the game. You will not be disappointed.
Oh no, yeah. So we're continuing our party games, and now we're doing some
Gun game?
some gun game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool.
So this one, if you're not familiar with gun game, you know, it's been around in other games in the past, and the way it kind of works is, as you get kills, you get better games, better guns.
Yeah.
Although better is not always the proper statement, because I guess that's kind of subjective, because eventually you have to deal with some pretty tough to use weapons depending on the map.
It's it's called gun promotion. Whenever you get a kill, you get some points. It's I think it's 10, and getting the kill actually will move you up the ladder to the next gun. You know, but then it's basically a race to the finish line to get through all the guns. But in fact, they don't necessarily get better. In fact, at the very end, they actually get harder to use. It's the curve kind of like, you know, getting better,
It's awesome
and then
at first,
drops.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you have to start using the sniper rifles, especially on a map where you're like maybe 10 feet from each other, that gets a little tough.
Yeah, it's a sweep through the various classes and some of the optics. You know, so it's you know, it's actually a real challenge to get started in some cases, and it's a real challenge to finish, right? And that's actually a pretty deliberate design call on the progression of the guns.
Let's see, IGN live stream doing okay.
Yeah, let's take a we're gonna take a look. So
He's third.
He's third place right now, not too bad.
Well, yeah, but he's really behind.
Yeah, he's four guns
really
behind,
behind,
five
yeah.
guns behind right now from Whiskers and Max.
Although I will say that, like you said, because of the curve of it, even when you get towards the end, that person has to, you know, trying to get that final kill is really tough.
Yeah, and you could get set back actually if you get knifed up. So, you know, there's a way to always kind of fight off the leader as well. But you know, it's never too late to make a comeback in gun game.
I like the gun that he just had because it had the variable scope or
Yeah.
the variable sight on it. You know, you could do the dot sight or the scope. Ooh.
No, it's I think he was in fourth at the end there.
Yeah, he couldn't even hold out.
So I think Whiskers was getting a little jealous of. Let's see what happened. Oh wow, nice dodging and weaving right there.
and
then that was just bad design, I think, on the part of to rush into that. One more map. I think we need to end with either Carrier or Nuketown, right? I mean, I think it's just mandatory, yeah. We're speaking to our off-scene ghosts.
Sorry, yeah. Let's end with Carrier.
Carrier.
That's fine. And then as far as mode, that's Vaughn choice.
Oh man, let's see. If we're gonna do Carrier, then let's have some Carrier free-for-all, and let's figure out if IGN live stream really is the
best that's here.
It really is the best that's here when it can't be carried by his team.
So as we're loading in, Cootie SC from Twitter says, "Can you say anything about zombie mode?" And the thing is, zombies. It's not like zombies is top secret. You guys have talked about it in the past, you know. But we're not really here to talk about that. I know, but I'm just saying that. How about you do? You can say something.
I can say that zombies
There you go.
will
Something.
get you. Listen, here's the thing about zombies, and in all honesty, I will never, ever, ever tell you anything about zombies, even if someone else published it in black and white and held it up in front of this camera right now. The whole thing about zombies is the discovery of zombies,
Yeah.
and why would we give it away? You know, here's you know, zombies is in the multiplayer executable. And I think that's really fantastic. You know, all of us online guys, we work on the same side of the building. So putting it in a multiplayer executable really gives us some really awesome opportunities for zombies, including leaderboards. Theater is actually part of zombies. And there's actually a 4z4 game mode where you can grief other people. And it's actually part of the mechanics. So there's some really, you know, nice cross-lap between multiplayer and zombies.
I think the easiest,
but about the game itself, you're on your own.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the easiest thing to say is that it's bigger than it was before. And just leave it with that.
It's a very big part of what we're doing. There's a whole team dedicated to zombies. Jimmy Zelensky and his team have done a really fantastic job giving some players some new experiences for zombies. And I'm really glad to see what people do with zombies and how popular that it's really gotten over the last game.
Cody SC, you get to try it out with our final Xbox 360 copy.
Very nicely
Go
done.
discover and tell people what you find, or don't, and keep it a secret.
Go into the fog, I dare you.
So we still have one PS3 copy to give away in our final minutes of our live stream. If you want to get in some last-minute questions, it's at IGN with the hashtag BlackOps2. Just like Codizi XBL says on Twitter, he says, can you talk a little bit more about gun prestige?
Oh yeah, you know, this is actually something that we only really announced kind of at the very late here in the development cycle. So every gun can be prestige 2 times. So if you cap it out and you want to start over again, you actually can. It's totally optional. It gives you some of the higher end cosmetics for doing so. But the big thing about having a prestige system where you don't reset challenges when you prestige is once you've completed everything, then it's completed. Now, leveling up a gun actually gives you experience bonuses, level experience bonuses. So we didn't want you to feel like you stop with your favorite gun and you're done. So you can actually optionally choose to prestige every single weapon in the game. That'll actually reset its attachments as though you just got the gun. And then you can start its progression again and earn its XP bonuses again. And then once you get through the prestige of the guns is when you get into those really high-end cosmetic unlocks, like putting your clan tag on your gun or putting your emblem on a gun, for example, as well as some high-end calling cards. So the prestige system of guns you know, was really important, I think, to, you know, we didn't want you to have this gun that you really like that you actually get through the progression on and then you feel like you're done with it, you know. Maybe you want to keep going so you can. It's a good question.
I was going to say, that's the thing is, no matter, I feel like no matter how many times I've seen the game or how much I've played the game, you know, there's always something else that I'm like, oh yeah, and you can also do that.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, you know, each game has added new systems, and then each game after that is like, how can we build upon those systems or make it even more elaborate? And it's like, it is, you know, Call of Duty is a shooter, and a lot of shooters are very much just like you run down a hallway and you shoot dudes, but there is so much going on, especially with the challenges, like the multiplayer and social features.
Yeah.
Just to make it.
Colm Nelson, Anthony Flame, and Mark Yetter are the 3 guys on the core MP systems design team. You can thank them or not for the crazy depth that we're talking about here in terms of each of these systems having a big range of stuff. That's my core crew, and I'm quite proud of everything that they were able to accomplish. IGN Livestream's got a 300.3 kill lead right here.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, he's doing really well, 25 and 11.
Yeah, it's not over yet, though, with 4 minutes and 22 seconds to play in this game, 3 kill lead. You know, we might. I think IGN Livestream's gonna have to fight for the
compulsive reloader this one too. He is. I feel for him. I feel like that's actually what got him killed there, but he does have the fast mag attachment.
Yeah.
I want him to. You know, it's really hard, especially on a free-for-all map, to live long enough to get it. But man, I really wish he could get that AGR. That would really seal the deal for him.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, you're probably looking at hardline in a team game and an objective team game at that.
Yeah.
You know, a hard point is where you're going to need to be to really see that score come into the system in a way where you can get that kind. You know,
although.
Oh, so very nice. So he's working towards his first reward,
which he would have earned in another thing, but he picked some really expensive rewards. Like even his most base level reward is not a cheap one.
No, that Guardian is not a cheap starting spot. You know, and if you die, man, that score streak meter resets, right? So it's there's no what do we call no give me's here. You got to earn it each and every time, and that's an important part of the design.
Another question from Twitter user Ravage Cobra, which is awesome. Have you ever considered cosmetic customization for character models?
Yeah, actually, in fact, Black Ops had some basic character customization where you could put face paint on characters, paint your face a specific way. Now, the thing that's really particularly strange about cosmetics for your character in general, in Black Ops, your perk 1 actually had a lot to do with how you looked. But the reason why we have not necessarily continued that theme in 2 is the truth is you just never see yourself. You're in first person. You're a gun in some hands most of the time, right?
And you don't even see yourself in the lobby. I mean, it's not like you're staring at a character model or
right,
anything.
So for us in the end, we wanted to put that cosmetic into stuff that you see all the time, which is your gun and your hands, and make sure it goes onto your gun. And also, when you're highlighting a player, his identity or emblem, stuff that you do see. So it's not like we don't like the idea. We actually love the idea. It's something that we did a little experimentation with in Black Ops. But in the end, for Black Ops 2, I think we wanted to make sure we focused that same amount of kind of development time and cost and energy into stuff that would be appropriate for a first-person shooter.
Ravage Cobra, you got our final copy, PS3 copy, so you can try out all the aesthetic customization stuff that is there, which is the guns, the emblems, the sights. There's a lot.
There's a
ton. You can even make your gun look like it's covered in cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms. You're gonna have to earn that one, but totally possible.
So we're coming up on the end here of our live stream.
Still in first place, IGN live stream.
Now
500 kills.
He was losing.
Yeah,
but
made a comeback.
He's brought it back.
It's a 5 kill lead right now over the second place with 46.
It's close though. It's a 5 kill game currently. He has a chance to do this. Oh nope.
Oh no.
Oh, we've been wrong. He is losing. I thought he was winning. He's close though.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He's actually he's in third place right now, isn't he?
No, he's in
second place.
Yeah, he's in second. He has a chance to bring this back. He's 2 kills behind. I don't know that it's gonna happen though. Oh wait.
Now we're tied up.
We're tied up. Yeah, this is getting good. This is exactly what we were saying with that a close game is better than a sweep.
Absolutely. So now he's 48, so he's actually in the lead with a 1 kill lead. IGN live stream.
I don't know. But he's tied again. No, he's ahead. He's ahead.
50 now.
It's gonna be close. It's really gonna come down to the wire here. I just want to say as we're closing up on the end of our live stream, that if you haven't been watching, we're gonna have this archive, so you'll be able to check it out later on. You should definitely catch up on what you missed. There's been a lot of good stuff. We saw the first reveal of Nuketown, which is a pre-order bonus of the game. It comes out November 13th. And if you want to ultimately find out what IGN thought about Call of Duty, which I'm sure you do too, you can do that at 12:01 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, November 13th when the game comes out. That's when our full review with the video review will be going up. So, written by yours truly.
Yeah?
Yeah, written by me.
IGN live stream won that game in first place by a narrow
He did, but he brought it together. I think he just threw it for a little bit in the middle to make it exciting.
For drama?
Yeah, for drama, just to close this out on kind of.
Yeah, very nicely done IGN live stream. Way to go.
I know, yeah. So, Dave, thank you so much for your time,
man, thank
guys.
You so much for coming. Guys, hope you liked the live stream.
Yeah, everyone should check out Call of Duty Black Ops when it comes out on November 13th. And for more on Call of Duty, you guys should always keep it locked to IGN. And we're out.